the Christmas episode, the last episode of the year, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll figure things out.
The Christmas episode?
I don't know. Is it?
Isn't this the week before Christmas?
Yeah, but Christmas is on a Monday.
This comes out on the 18th.
Yeah, and the 25th is Monday. The next would be the next one.
We're skipping Monday. We're skipping Christmas Monday.
I don't know. Maybe we can just do it next week. I don't know. Either way, let's get into this thing.
I mean, I want to have work for a few days or a couple days this coming week. So
I didn't really think about it, to be honest with you. I kind of just assumed. Maybe I shouldn't have assumed anything.
Well, I mean,
we'll figure it out. I mean, we can do a little.
So are we talking Christmas movie?
No,
are we talking Christmas movies, or are we talking sports and video games?
No, we can do we can do sports and video games today, and then we can just do a shorter episode next week, and I'll make a nice little tier list. We'll put our movies together, and we'll put a nice little tier list together. We can use I'll be on a green screen.
We could even have it so we're just like little like things in the bottom corner.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's what I was.
And then like tier list to top.
Yeah. I just have to give you the background, right? I think. Right. Or can I chroma key you? I think I can. I think I can. Right.
If I gave you a green screen.
Wait.
So this is my camera.
Yeah, I say, hey, you want to we can test this out really quick. I can just see if I can chroma key you.
Live on the podcast.
I think we'll do it afterwards, but I think I can chroma key you.
We can if you want, we can test it now.
I gotta turn. Okay. Let me see. Let's put it behind. Let me see. For those of you watching this movie magic filters.
You just gotta click on the source filter.
Yeah, I have to click on you.
Filter, chroma key.
No, I just have a chroma key. I have a chroma key thing. Chroma key.
Yeah,
green.
It works.
There you go. You don't have. You want? You want this as your background for tonight?
No, I'm okay.
All right. Well, we know it works. So there you go. All right. Well, cool. All right. Well, that answers that.
Turn the chroma key effect off on my whole thing.
I have it on still.
Chroma key.
I have it on. It's not even really doing anything.
So I can just do this. Oop. Oh, whoops. I turned off the wrong thing. Whoops.
Wow.
I have all sorts of off.
Yeah, you can
just do this.
Yeah, you can turn that off. Yeah, you can turn that off.
Except you don't have anything behind me now.
There you go. I can just leave that. I can leave
it.
Okay, you just want to do that all night? Just like boop.
Be sitting here.
Boop. I like the fact you get lighter, but
switching libraries
with it.
you like the fact that what?
You get lighter with it because it's a lighter background.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
boy.
Probably has to do with like the light coming off my monitor or something. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how chroma keys work, even though I work with them on a regular basis.
All it does is, a chroma key, if I recall from film, all a chroma key does is a green screen. A green screen in the chroma key basically tells the computer to remove this color, whether it's a blue screen or a green screen.
I know how that essence of it works. I don't know what some of the like some of the feathering and some of the stuff. I don't know exactly, what causes it to have a harder time, what causes it to do weird
lighting
colors and
lighting. It's just
I know that's part of it, but it's not all of it.
It's lighting and shading mostly because it's like because like
did you know it used to take like an entire machine
to
actually key someone out. It was its own like little thing, like so basically it was like a machine and it would like hook up and then like it would have a little output and that was the chroma key.
Yeah, because it takes not a lot of power.
Not anymore, but
yeah. But I mean, also back then too, computers were like the size of walls. The computer would go from like the wall.
Power that it took was
ridiculous. A lot
compared to what they had available. It was more computing power than what they would need. So,
yeah,
And like doing green screens like they do for like news and weather forecasts, it does take a little bit more power.
Well,
but
I don't think yours does it, but I know some news stations, their backgrounds behind the newscasters, those are all green screens, so they can switch it out, so they don't have instead of running the live shot like they used to.
It depends on the station.
I feel like that's more of
your space. It depends on your space and that kind of stuff. A lot of places now, even like for their weather person, are using
the confidence monitors essentially.
Well, yeah, they're using these. It's like literally like a bunch of like little small monitors that all like make up this big thing that's like fleshed out. We have one for our anchors, so we can.
Yeah, it's like
we don't use it for like virtual newsroom backgrounds. We use it for like we'll put like Salt Lake City behind them, sort of.
No, I know.
It allows us to put whatever we want behind them, sort of thing, and it looks nice and fleshed out. But it's also just like a giant monitor. So when I used to work weekend nights and there was like a big football game on, I'd put the football game on there, and because we weren't running a newscast while the football game was on, I'd just sit there and watch the football game.
There you go.
On that big, huge monitor.
There you go.
Anyways, the whole thing.
A little TV talk. But more stuff has come out about the Ohtani stuff, or Ohtani deal, and it feels like every day for a while it just got crazier and crazier and crazier.
I'm just still mad at him for taking a nice sweetheart deal with the Dodgers. I'm never gonna be okay with it.
There's a lot, so we're just gonna let's just start from the beginning here. And even wilder stuff came out today because why not just add to the craziness.
It feels. I mean, ultimately, the whole thing feels like Nesbolelo trying to save face for Ohtani. Because based on what one of the things that came out today was that all the teams had so initially
I don't buy that.
Was like,
I don't buy that.
We let the Angels match, but
I don't buy that.
Oh, we let all the teams match.
What
was going on, I think, was they were going to the Dodgers and they were saying the Dodgers were probably like, look, I'm guessing at one point the Dodgers were going, hey, look, we'll pay you $600 million over 10 years. And they were like, they wanted to see how far they could push it.
Yeah, because what they
took it back to the Angels, and maybe already said, or maybe the Giants GM said, I don't know, but maybe one of the GMs said, oh, we'll pay. My guess is Toronto really was the last team that made like a highly substantial offer, and so my guess is what happened was at that point the offer was somewhere between $600 and $700 million.
Well, here was something from earlier today, and we can kind of get into it, but I'm calling bullshit on this, and here's the reason why I'm calling bullshit on it, because no one in their right mind would do this, and two, this is not how contract negotiations work, especially if they're at this later stage. But it was reported by Alden Gonzalez and Jeff Passan of ESPN that Ohtani's camp proposed the same structured deal the Dodgers accepted to at least 3 other teams. The Blue Jays and Giants accepted. The Angels declined. I don't buy that for a second. 1,000%. He's trying to stay face. Because for those of you who don't know, I guess we can kind of work our way backwards here. So what ended up happening with the deal is 97% of his $700 million is going to be deferred. So meaning he's only getting paid $2 million a season, which is allowed under the CBA, but it really shouldn't be, but that's neither here nor there. What them saying that oh, we offered this to everyone. The Blue Jays might be able to afford it. The Giants, I don't think the Giants could be able to afford it. Artie can't. So I'm not quite understand. Like I said, I think a lot of this, maybe you're right. It feels like they're trying to stay face because they don't want. It's almost like he's trying to repair what is now become a very damaged image for Ohtani, at least to a lot of Angel fans. And I think, and mind you, we're seeing that like on Twitter, where it's very much like someone made the comment, "Oh, you mean he had no problem making $30 million last year?" And a lot of it too was, "Oh, this is the first year he might have actually had endorsement deals." It very well could be. But again, when we're talking about just how things look, it doesn't look inherently good. And I know what they're trying to do is it does. I will admit, we were talking about this off camera. It does sort of look like there is this very weird targeted effort from the media to strictly blame Artie for it, which is fine. We can get Artie on a lot of things, but I'm going to be the voice of reason and say, if Artie had a number, whatever that number was, whether it was $500 million, $550 million, $600 million, he had a limit and said, this is the max I'm going to offer him. If he takes it, cool. We're more than willing to have him. If he doesn't, I offered it to him. If that's what happened, that's totally fine.
Honestly,
but they've been mum's the word, so I don't know. We're not gonna know, and if they don't want to talk about it, that's fine. They don't have to talk about it. But at this point, you're going to continue to get this wild speculation from the journalists who are trying to get who are talking to people. But ultimately, it's just going to lead to more conclusions that Perry has to come out and say, "This is what we offered him. He didn't take it. He went away. We're moving on." That's all he has to say. But I'm not going to bash Artie if there was an offer there that he just didn't take and he didn't want to go up another $150 million.
Yeah, well, sorry. Good.
No, I'm just, because the whole thing is to me that, and like I said, we can bash Artie on a lot of things, but if it comes down to, I didn't want to pay an extra $150 million for somebody, because like we said, there is the other side of this coin where it's like, I'm not going to pay $700 million to a guy who I don't know if he's going to pitch, because that's part of it. The Angels know what procedure he got. They know. They're the one team that knows what actually what that elbow actually did, more than likely. At least for certain. Like, we don't know how much of that was disclosed. The Angels know 100,000% how much was done to that elbow. He can tell the Dodgers, like he said, "Oh, well, it wasn't Tommy John." Well, was it Tommy John? Well, the procedure wasn't really Tommy John. Okay, it was Tommy John. But it's like, do they know? Like, if the Dodgers clearly understood the risk, right? But again, how much of that are they going to tell? How much of that is being left out?
And look, I mean, before I say this, I will say this. This is still my stance.
No, that's like, that stance doesn't change, right?
No. I know. But so I just, I wanted to get that out of the way before I say what I'm gonna say. Which is this. I think I think Artie does a horrible job running the Angels organization. But if what Bolelo said is true, and he brought the offer to Perry and Artie and said, "Look, this is what the Dodgers are offering. If you want to just maybe increase it by another $10 million or whatever, whatever was being brought over." And he said, basically what he'd be saying is, do you want to be on the hook for, first of all, even if he said we took the same deal in terms of deferred payments and said, look,
that's a lot of money.
You're going to be on the hook for $700 million over 20 years rather than 10, which I get, there is something to be said for the actual cash coming out of your pocket having it be spread out over 20 years rather than 10.
It's not even so much it's spread out. It's essentially, from what from
It's
what I've
backloaded, yeah.
well, from what even I understood about it is it's going into escrow, meaning that money is basically it's dead money. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to sit there. It's not. It's not working for anybody. It's not. He can't. You're not. He's not going to be able, like the owner won't. Whether it's Artie or whoever, they're not going to be able to recoup that money. Like they have to. Like, and that's a very hard pill to swallow. Is knowing that.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is I disagree with Artie on many things. I don't blame him for not wanting to, because, like, first of all, yeah, that's a hefty amount to be paying to one player, even if you are getting away with only having to pay him a certain amount per year for the first 10. And even if the back payments are based on what reports are saying interest free, which also
it's
just
not
side
interest.
comment.
It's not interest free.
Side comment. If there is any truth to reports that's interest free,
then
Ohtani it would be absolutely dumb to take that deal.
It's not interest free
in terms of money, because I've seen. Well, no, that's what the report is that's what Heyman is saying is the money on the back end of the deal is interest free payments.
No, they're
just deferring it.
So for the well, this is mortgage. So escrow in terms of mortgages, they do not accrue interest. But
yeah, that's what you're saying. You're saying the payments are going into the account and then they'll come out at a certain amount every 10 years. But what I'm saying is he's going to get that $68 million a year for 10 years following his the end of his contract, assuming possibly the end of his career at that point. But that means that basically what my comment to everybody on social media was $60 million now is better than $68 million a year later.
So interesting fact. At least so. Again, this is mortgage, but California is among 17 states that require a lender to pay interest on a mortgage mortgage loan impound or escrow account. So all those reports saying he's not earning interest are wrong, because this account would be in California, meaning he would be accruing interest. So John Heyman is once again wrong.
But regardless, he's not going to make much. He's not going to make the money. The interest isn't going to outpace inflation in that time frame.
No,
so he's going
to lose money.
Ohtani is basically losing money long term. But that's all. That whole thing's a side comment. Regardless, but the CBT also being what it is, unless something changes in the next. But by the time and I don't even know that would change, because Ohtani's contract was signed prior to a new CBT. I don't know, or a new CBA. But the CBT being what it is, the Dodgers for the next 10 years, even though they're only paying Ohtani $2 million a year, they're still going to be on the hook for. I think the number Morosi reported, was it Morosi? No, but one of those guys reported was that they'd be on the hook for like $45 million a year. Like that's going to be their cap hit for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
and I believe that's also their cap hit the following 10 years, meaning the 10 years where they're paying Ohtani deferred payments. They're taking a cap hit of $45 million for a player that's not under contract anymore.
Correct.
A player that's not playing for them. But that's what I'm saying. If it look, I fully believe Artie probably would have been willing to say, look, let's pay you $55 million a year now. Like, you're gonna get that money in your pocket right away, because that will just have me on the hook for $55 million a year from now through the end of that 10th season.
Correct.
Whereas when he probably got this other contract back, he was like, you're saying that I have to also like deal with a competitive balance tax of 45 that will hit my club for $45 million a year when you're not even playing baseball for me at that point?
Yeah, like
I said, this is my stance, but I don't blame Artie.
No, that I like I said,
and I don't blame anybody. And so, but this brings me back to the original point I had. I think the whole thing was just gesturing, trying to get the Dodgers to pony up more money. Basically,
Yeah.
I mean, like basically, we talked after we recorded last week. We talked about there was that whole thing with the plane, with the well, no, I think we talked about this last week, but the whole. They had like a fake plane going on. Well, not a real
wasn't
plane
a fake plane, but it wasn't Ohtani.
It's a real plane, but no Ohtani on it. Going to Toronto and then slipping to the Dodgers. Hey, Ohtani's gonna go sign a contract with the Blue Jays.
Well, that was never truly stated. But
so my thought process is what must have really happened was, again, this isn't based on anything. This is just based on what reports are out there and me extrapolating from that. But it seems like the Dodgers maybe at that point had offered, somewhere between 600 and 700 million over that 10-year contract, and the Blue Jays beat the offer by like, let's say 20 or 30 million total on the contract. And so they use that as leverage to go back to the Dodgers and say, so with Bolelo coming out and saying, look, we took this offer to all the teams. The reason he took the offer to all the teams, the reason he took the offer to the Angels was not because he was trying to give them an honest chance to sign Ohtani. It was because he was trying to leverage. It's because he's darn good at his job, and he was trying to leverage. He was trying to leverage Ohtani.
Well, they do
leverage the Dodgers into a better deal.
Well,
that's all he was doing. He was never trying to sign, or he was never trying to get Ohtani to sign with anybody but the Dodgers.
Well, I mean, you do a last call, but I think at a certain point you're not gonna.
But that's the thing. Unless one of those teams was going to come out and say, "Oh, the Dodgers are offering this." Well, fine. Like, the only way he was going to sign with any other team was if, like, let's say the Angels had come out and said, "You know what? We'll sign him to a similar deferred contract like that, but let's do 800 million over 10 years." And then they went back to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers were just like, "We're not doing that. 700 is way more than we're comfortable." Like, if that had happened, yeah, maybe another team had a chance. But I'm thinking, if it was even close, like if there were other offers that were just kind of close to what the Dodgers were offering, it was going to be, well, we prefer to sign with the Dodgers for winning or marketing or whatever. I don't know.
So that's the other thing. He brings that up too, and he's like, "Oh, they really want to win." And it's one of those bits too, where it's like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, good sir, but when it comes like I didn't watch his press conference. Mainly at this point, it's like, I'm not supporting this snake anymore. Like, he can do about whatever he wants. But the one thing I have to laugh, because the baseball media has definitely shown its true colors over the last, like, however many, how as this has gone on. And what's funny to me is they ask these questions and they're like, "Well, why'd you do it?" One, apparently Kobe recorded something from 6 years ago for a recruiting pitch for them, which is like, all right, we can't let the man just rest. Okay, fine, whatever. But it's one of those bits too, where, like, they say this stuff and it's like, well, every year was a failure because we can't win. And it's like, all right, you can't win. Every season's a failure because we didn't reach the World Series or win the World Series. Fine, whatever. Enjoy that mentality, whatever, and all this stuff. But what it comes down to is, it's like, there's not a team out there that's not actively trying to win the World Series. There's not, like, that's the goal, right? Every team, probably not the A's, but every team is trying to win. There isn't teams that are actively tanking, for the most part. Like, this whole notion of, like, where he's saying all this stuff, it's like, that's every team. That's every team's recruiting pitch, right? Is like, we're actively trying to win a World Series. But it's like with the Dodgers, and it's like the Dodgers' best team was probably 2022 when they had Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman, right? Or hell, even the year before, they still had Corey Seager. Like, the Dodgers have always been loaded and had loaded teams. Truth be told, adding Ohtani, adding Glass, now, if they go out and add even more, all it's going to do is the same. The cycle is going to repeat. They'll win 110, 115, win all the games of the regular season, and then completely and utterly fall apart in the playoffs, like they have done for the last 3 years. 3 out of 4 years, right? It's like they can talk all they want, say we're here to win, all the rah, we're here to win. You haven't done it. You lost to the Diamondbacks, you lost to the Padres the last 2 years.
I mean, the one World Series they've had recently
was 60 seasons. Like, there are Dodger fans who legitimately say, yeah, Dave Roberts can't manage a full season. And it's like, yeah, that's now the case. And it's not like that pressure is going to go away. And hilariously, I don't think Dave Roberts is actually at that press conference on Thursday. There was no pictures I saw where Dave Roberts was there. So that's funny. But think that's the whole thing. It's like whatever they're selling, he was buying. And it's one of it just continues this whole thing of like, they're not, his mind was made up when he entered free agency. He'll never admit it, but he wanted to be a Dodger. He wanted to be a Dodger 6 years ago.
I fully agree. My main card that I think proves that is the reports were coming out that every team was scared. They had the crap scared out of them that basically if anything leaked from their negotiations with Ohtani, that it would be held against them.
Well, that's what he said.
Roberts came out and immediately was like, yeah, we had a really good meeting with him. I think there's a good chance we might sign him. And I'm thinking that at the end of that meeting, Balelo and Ohtani were probably like, look, we're probably already most of the way there, but
their deal, it's one of those bits where it's like, I don't think he was actively like shopping around as much as he was. I think a lot of it was smoking. I think he
honestly just used the Blue Jays, the Giants, and the Angels. I think those are the main three teams as fodder to up the deal from what the Dodgers were going to offer. So, like I said, Balelo's a good agent. He probably went out and did everything. And I mean, look, he's a good agent also because he's taken. He's going to make. I don't know what the formula is usually for.
It's 10%. It's 10%.
It's 10%. So 10%. So he's only getting what $200,000.
Well, he's probably making because he's his agent. He's probably getting part of the endorsement deals too. So if he's getting if he's getting $40 million endorsement deals, he's getting $400,000 straight out of endorsements. And if those numbers are just going to go up,
I'm sure he doesn't mind the deferments because even if he could have made the money now, I'm sure he doesn't mind the thought that he is set for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to think about where his next like mega paycheck is coming from, because think about the fact that the moment Ohtani's contract is up and like let's say he retires immediately at the end of that contract.
Well, mind you, there's no guarantee he's going to finish the modern. And I said this in my podcast. I don't know sure when I released mine, but I made the comment too that the 10-year deals recently that have expired all have ended poorly. Pujols was DFA'd, Cano was traded twice, and then kind of looking at ones that have been done, they've been mixed. Like Garrett Cole's been okay. Aaron Judge is too early to tell, but realistically, like they don't historically end well, at least the modern times. And the interesting part is that if Freeman gets fired or the owner gets or the owners are out, he can opt out, which is interesting because like I said, there's no guarantee that he's going to finish. Actually, the odds say he's probably not going to finish as a Dodger. So the whole thing's just interesting because, it's like he's tied himself to this organization in a way that hasn't been done before and probably won't be done after.
I think ultimately, I think what was I gonna say? I think it was my last thought about the whole situation is, or no, my last question about the whole situation is that I saw people discussing when Ohtani and the Dodgers. So when the Dodgers play the Angels, and assuming Ohtani's healthy and in the lineup,
will he be booed?
And he's at Angel Stadium, and if you're at that game,
I'm booing him.
Would you boo him or cheer him?
I boo him. I'd boo him.
Do you think most Angels fans will boo him or cheer him?
I think the 10 Angel fans that are there will boo him.
Yeah, I would too.
I think a lot of good faith that they had in him is very much gone. Because like somebody said on Twitter, why was Ippei's goodbye, way more cordial than Ohtani's? Like, truthfully.
Yeah, Ohtani barely said anything to
him. Every comment was passive.
I don't think he did say anything much to Angels fans.
He
just
said,
posted a little thing.
He posted the thing and said thank you. And that was it.
I signed a bunch of autographs for you guys. Thank you for
thanks for building my brand so I could walk away the minute I could. Enjoy it. LOL.
And look, if he had gone to the Dodgers, I wouldn't have felt nearly as bad if he had gone to the Dodgers on a $600 million 10-year deal where it was all just upfront cash. But this whole sweetheart deal of
the whole like I'm here
most of my money until after I'm done playing.
The whole I want to win and all I care about is winning. It's like, no, you don't. You're giving them the sweetheart deal because you want to be a Dodger so badly that you think that backloading yourself and doing all this stuff is going to make the product better for, make the product better. And it's like, well, you haven't done anything yet. You haven't won anything yet. So what are you like? I don't know. Like, what do you actively try to do? Except save your own
regardless of the contract, if he had gone to the Blue Jays, the moment the Blue Jays played at Angel Stadium, he would have gotten a standing ovation.
Probably, but they're also like not seen. I mean, they're not seen as a threat. The truth. I mean,
I don't even think it's so much of being a threat. It's just look. He went to the one like real serious rival the Angels have ever had.
He went to the.
Said, I'm gonna give you guys the best, most cushiest.
Even though he quote offered it to anybody else and no other GM has said anything. But again, they're not going to say anything. But like I said, at this point, I think everyone's just sort of like, that was our chance to get rid of Artie because Artie's not liked. But that's neither here nor there.
I mean, let's get rid of him regardless, but still.
But
it shouldn't be for this. I don't
know what I'm trying to get at is if we're going to dogpile on Artie, not paying someone $700 million isn't. This is not the reason. This is not the reason I keep flashing this poorly made graphic. No, it's stupid. It's stupid to be upset that we're not paying someone a ridiculous amount of money when we're already paying somebody a ridiculous amount of money.
So
we can be realistic. Anywho, Lego Fortnite's fun. I'm enjoying myself.
That's a transition.
I haven't played it a lot like lately, but like when I got into it, it was fun.
Comes out, I should have streamed a couple days ago on Valheim.
Yeah, you're gonna stream Valheim solo.
Yeah, well, Mister, I'm never available to actually play with you.
I'm sorry, I want to watch my team play football. If they weren't playing, I'd play. We have delayed.
You're the one who crapped on Survival Saturdays.
We have delayed podcasts, so you can watch a BYU game. So I don't know what you're talking about. I have no time. I want to watch my team play. Yeah, weird how that plays out. My team's in the playoff, unlike someone's team. Teams.
Which one?
I don't know. Both of them. One of them cleaned house today because they got their butts handed to them by the Vegas Raiders.
At least it was a scoregami.
I know. I was like,
it was only a scoregami because Like literally,
They
NFL teams just don't score that much.
They just
usually.
stopped. Yeah.
So no,
That game was 42-0 at halftime. Good Lord. But no, I'm enjoying the little bit I played. I like it. I think you would enjoy it. I know you're kind of like, but there's no creatures. There's creatures.
I need a group. Is the only thing with that.
If I
That's
had
the reason I won't solo it. Plus, Valheim itself is a vibe.
Okay.
The thing with Lego, the thing with
don't like
Lego
Legos?
Fortnite,
You don't like Legos?
Legos and Fortnite, and it's just like it's not as much of a vibe.
What? It's literally just Lego Valheim.
Well, no, you keep saying that, but there's a difference.
Okay, Lego Minecraft. If Minecraft and
Lego Minecraft is probably more what I would call it.
It's Lego Minecraft, and it's like, which is fine.
Look, I don't mind. Look, I think it would be. I think it's a fun game. It sounds like a fun game.
Rocket League's in Fortnite.
The reason I need more of a group is because, I like building stuff, but when it comes to building stuff, I'm better when I'm building something while So I play with my good friend Spencer, on Valheim or on Terraria or anything, and he builds like these amazing. He builds like these amazing buildings in these games, and what I do is I just build like these little crappy other things, but like they're just right there off to the side. So it's like I can have my fun doing little buildings while he does like these extravagant like crazy stuff. So with the focus so much on building in Lego Fortnite, I need groups so that way I have someone who can do all the nice fun things, and I can do all the little like crappy things basically.
All right, well,
so
Rocket League's in Fortnite too. Rocket League Racing.
Yeah,
try that out.
You think racing is what gets me in Rocket League?
I don't know. I don't know. I just figured you just I don't know. Like
you figure
it's different.
You figure it's a game that I play, so I must want to play it in all its forms.
To be fair, I will admit when I saw Rocket League and Fortnite, I'm like, how the hell is this gonna work? And I'm like, oh, it's just Mario Kart. Okay.
Yeah. No. The other thing that was the big, well, not big, but it was an interesting development the past couple days, particularly for me as a BYU fan.
The Lakers winning the in-season tournament.
Yeah, the Lakers won. That was cool.
They're putting up a banner. They're hanging a banner, which is funny.
Everybody's ridiculing them.
The whole thing, they can ridicule them, but I kind of laugh. I'm like, you know what? If it wasn't the first one, I'd be very much like, why are we doing this? But I'm like, it's the first one, and we can tell the entire league to suck it because they're never going to win the first one.
And the whole thing is, if the Lakers were, like, let's say the Jazz and hanging it up, I'd understand the ridicule a bit more. But we're hanging it up next to what is it, 16, 17 other banners?
Yeah, 16, 17 banners. And the whole...
It's like we got all these banners up there.
Might as well add it.
This is not a matter of like, hey, look, we won something. It's a matter of, look, we won again.
Yeah, it's another ring to the collection. Like, it really is just a power move at this point. And plus, like I said, it's the first one. Frame it.
What the Lakers are doing is they are like one of the historically greatest teams ever,
and it just continues.
And what they're doing is they're helping the NBA legitimize this new thing that a lot of people aren't sure about. So I think it's fine. It's not as big of a deal.
I offered this question before we can move on. Is if this had been Lakers Celtics, which it could have been, if it was Lakers Celtics in the in-season tournament final, damn well Boston would be hanging that thing in their rafters. So fans acting like, oh, my team wouldn't do it. No, if it was Boston, they would be doing it too. And Boston, like, we won the first one. Everyone can suck it.
And if Boston hung it up, I'd be like, the same thing
it's a legitimate. Right now. No, I know. That's why I'm like,
I'd be saying the same thing I am right now. Look, they've got 17 other banners.
Suck it.
They can put up whatever the crap they want.
And like I said, it's the first one. No one else is going to win it. And dang well it's going to say first in-season tournament champions.
Yeah, no. So, No, the
Anywho.
development I was gonna say was the NCAA has been in court with a bunch of states recently about
I saw that.
2-time transfers. It's like if you transfer twice before actually playing a game with the school,
Yeah, because
then you're not allowed to play unless you get a waiver or something.
I want to put context on this. So the biggest reason why this is sort of coming up was there was a player at North Carolina, I believe, a wide receiver who transferred twice. One was because of COVID, and I want to say the second time was the football program at the school he was at got dissolved, and he still wanted to play, so he had to transfer again. And they ended up punishing him, and I think he didn't play in like 6 games, 4 or 6 games, I don't want to say. And it was just because of that rule, and they were taking forever on the waiver. But that's where this stems from, and I completely feel for the guy, but like I
honestly, I think it's kind of a ridiculous rule to have. So like it affects actually both BYU and Utah here. Each of them has a player that's like touted very highly, but now that has been able to play for the team because
of these weird rules,
because of this rule. And so what happened was the judge granted a temporary restraining order.
Yeah, I saw
that basically said, okay, these guys can play during this time frame. But then the NCAA came out and was like, yeah, but if they do, they lose a year of eligibility. So it's like, do you risk playing in the next 14 days and then losing the court battle and not being able to play for the rest of the year and losing that eligibility anyways? And so today, as of this recording Friday, they came out with an agreement that basically made it so if it does reverse, they won't punish them for the eligibility. So it's basically like if they play, we'll determine what their eligibility is after the thing goes down. So but so yeah, there's a player for BYU. His name is Marcus Adams Jr. He's a 4-star recruit out of high school. He initially committed to play for Kansas and then transferred to Gonzaga. And then I don't know, whatever happened with Gonzaga, he never reported to Gonzaga. He never actually got there, and he ended up transferring again to BYU. So now with all of this done, pathway is clear for him. And then, like I said, there's a guy at Utah who has a similar sort of story to be able to play immediately, which is nice because BYU has been without him, has been without they've got a couple of guys that are important to the team, and yet they've been playing really well. So it's I'm excited to but this whole thing has been interesting. It's it's one of those things where it's the NCAA is trying to keep its grip on power in terms of being we can still enforce stuff, but then in the end they kind of gave in throughout this whole process. So it's kind of well, I guess you can't enforce stuff because you're powerless because you allowed the conferences to come in and steal all your power.
Well, I mean, on top of it too, is they've said for a while there's gonna have to be a sort of give and take with the transfer portal, and they haven't had one at least yet. So we'll see if that happens. I don't anticipate it. Kind of leaning one way or the other, but we shall see. Words.
Words.
Oh,
things, people, places.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're the one who said words, so I just continued it on.
But see how things continue.
Also, we never really discussed it. How's the streaming been for you?
I streamed for 3 hours. 3 hours all week.
They're fun streams. And I've been taking the first away from Parrot, so
Skyrim Saturday.
Well, there'll be lucky.
There'll be
I've
no
been,
Skyrim.
Sitting at my computer and I see your notification on Discord, and I'm like,
bam. There'll be no Skyrim Saturday to this week. I was gonna stream after this, but I wasn't sure if we were. But now it's too late.
You're doing the same thing again, where you're like, I was gonna stream. I was
thinking about it. I'm like, oh, if we record like at 7, I'll go live at 8 for a couple hours.
You didn't really push me, which I was kind of glad you didn't.
No, because I had someone was over, and I'm like, I can't record with them over. They're too loud. So I was unavailable, and I saw you.
My headphones were low on battery, and my wife had just taken our girls to McDonald's, and so
did you get an adult Happy Meal?
No, but no, we haven't. I haven't eaten.
I know.
Yet. Remember, this is
I know.
This is our night to get.
I'm waiting for you to be like, my food's here. Can we wrap this up?
I mean, I think it is almost here, but
that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for him to be like, I'm hungry, man.
But no, what was I gonna say? Food.
But
no, so I took a nap.
Nice.
when I might have if on any other night, like if I wasn't just so tired, I might have messaged him and hey, you want to do the podcast now? But instead, I was like, well, if he's not going to message me trying to push us to do the podcast now,
I couldn't.
I'm just going to take a nap.
No, I couldn't.
To bed and
I couldn't. And then when I saw the time, I'm like, oh, yeah. So. But I've been playing Batman Arkham offline.
I've been playing Rocket League again because I'm
gonna go back to League just to spite everybody.
Well, because on Sunday I ended up getting pink eye, so I stayed home from work on Monday, and so on Sunday night, my brothers and I played some Rocket League.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, after that, the whole rest of this week, I've been playing less and less NCAA. That's all it takes for me. I could be addicted to a game. The same thing was it was Starfield. There was no end in sight for me. I was gonna go and do all of those New Game Plus things and had all these role plays in mind. Guess what? I uninstalled Starfield because I wanted to install. I actually wanted to install The Sims 3 for Abby because she's been playing.
Wait, The Simpsons. The Sims. I thought you said The Simpsons. Like The Simpsons.
No, The Sims. The Sims. She has a Sims app on her phone.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I have The Sims 3 and The Sims 4. I personally think The Sims 3 is a vastly superior game to The Sims 4. But anyways, that's a whole other question. But basically, I offered to install it for her, so I had installed Starfield because at that point I was like, I'm not playing it. I have no plans to play it. So.
Yeah,
in my brain, I've actually been thinking more about playing Halo recently than playing Starfield.
Halo. No, I get it. No, I've been playing Batman Arkham. I'm 100% it. So that's what we're doing right now. That's off stream. But I gotta beat Final Fantasy VII. I gotta beat Kakarot. I want to finish Arkham.
Do I need to make a poorly done paint art?
Play Final Fantasy VII.
Is that what I need to do for next week? Is have it be just that just be the whole thing is
play Final Fantasy VII.
Play Final Fantasy VII. Come on, bro.
Finish it, bro. You have to finish it before February, even though you don't have the PS5. You gotta play it.
You can play it on your PC.
Not gonna be out on PC right away, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah. So so if anything, you should. You know what game I did open up for like 5 minutes and closed again because it was playing terribly?
Huh.
Hogwarts.
Oh, yeah. Good times. That's good times. I kind of miss that because that was how I started my my whole streaming career.
Yeah.
Was playing Hogwarts.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Play FF7 remake. Jesus. Oh God.
There you go.
I was.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm holding. Oh boy.
There you go. Now it takes up my whole window.
Oh my gosh. Boy.
That's gonna be my message from now on. Play FF7R specs.
All right.
Specs.
All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about, or I'll let you go since I know you're hungry.
Play Final Fantasy VII Remake during your streams.
Play Final Fantasy VII Remake. Okay, got it.
And
I'll play it off stream just for you. No recording. Yeah. No recording. No nothing.
You just be like, "Hey, I beat it."
Yeah, be like, "I beat it."
You can be like, "I really should have done that during my streams. The storyline's so good; it would have made for some good content."
I'll record it.
The end of the game is not trying to take down that Hell House boss.
I hate you. I'll record it and put it on YouTube.
I didn't do that on purpose. I was just remembering that was the one time you had that big issue with it. And then
I'll record it. I'll
quit your stream. Rage stopped streaming.
I will record it and put it on YouTube. How about that? How do you feel about that?
I will watch those. I will literally spend my time watching those videos. Like, I will take time out of my day to be like,
it'll be cut up in 20-minute bites. Like, I'll be missing chunks of the story.
You just gotta play it on stream. I'm telling you.
All right. Well, anything else you want to say so you can go eat? I'm sure your food's here. Is your food here yet?
No. I was gonna look up how many people are currently playing Final Fantasy VII Remake.
3. I don't know.
There's 287 viewers right now.
If I honestly had to guess, I think it'll jump because the second one comes out in what?
Like 2.5 months, I think.
Yeah, so I'm sure it'll pick up. Probably right before.
Yeah, there's currently 287 viewers. 103 of them belong to one.
And they're not even playing it. They're watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So. What do you know?
Hey, so one of the people playing it who has 10 viewers, their name is Crossout Bryce. Huh? Maybe that's what I play instead of Valheim tomorrow. I play. and then I raid this other guy.
He's live.
The Bryce.
To play Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I'm honestly gonna hop into this guy's chat and I'm just gonna be like, nice name.
You should follow him. You don't follow him.
I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Oh. I got an ad. All right. Well, I think that's where we're going to leave this one off. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we'll be back next year for our Christmas / end of year thing, I guess. I don't know. We'll see you guys all later. Adios.
Bye, guys.